Hey everybody, I'm Coco and this is Carver. We're going to just do a nice 30-minute yoga practice today that will help you feel a little bit more balanced and centered. This is a great class for everybody, especially tweens. This past year I was lucky enough to teach the tween class at Divine Yoga Studio, and so my thought is just going out all to my beautiful precious teens. I hope you're all doing well. Let's do some yoga. All right, we made it to the mat. Let's come into an easy seated position. You can either bring your legs to crisscross applesauce or stack the logs, just whatever's comfortable. Whenever you get into your position, rock back and forth a couple times and make sure your sit bones are on the ground. Slowly noticing where your hips are and making sure they're directly over or under your shoulders. So you want your shoulders and your hips lined up. You want to bring your palms face down onto the tops of your knees or your thighs. And you want to slowly make sure that your neck is extended, not too far away, but not hunching over. You want just a nice neutral spine and neck. So once we get here, just gently closing the eyes. And just taking a few breaths here. Notice the sound it makes as it comes into your lungs. Notice the sound it makes when it exits your lungs. So I was rewatching the Star Wars series with everything that's been going on. Perfect time to do it, right? And in the third one, Master Yoda says this quote, and it's really just stuck with me, so I'd like to share it with you. It goes something like, "The fear of loss leads to the dark side." So all week I've kind of just been thinking about that. It's so easy to get caught up in all of this negativity and anxiety and chaos. But if that's all you focus on, then you're really going to start drain spinning into a really dark place. So instead, if you focus on the good things, family, time spent together, the sunshine, the fresh air, just everything that you can be grateful for, if you can focus on those things, it makes everything so much easier to deal with. So breathing in here, breathing in through your nose, and pushing out all of the positivity you have to offer through your mouth. Breathing in through the nose, and out through the mouth. One more time, breathing in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Slowly blinking the eyes open. Oh, look who's come to join us. Hey, Carver. Carver, the assistant. Placing the hands onto the legs, we're going to do some cat-cows here seated. So inhaling, pulling the shoulders away, the chest through the shoulders and looking up. Exhaling, curling everything in, and making the chin come to the chest. Inhale, pull everything through, look up. Exhale, tuck the chin, curl everything to center. One more time, inhale, pull everything through, look up. Exhale, cow, cat pose. Coming back to center. It's scary recording this, all of my mistakes are shown. So let's just give ourselves a nice little hand massage here. Bringing the hands out first. And noticing them, noticing all of the webbings in between each finger. And then just giving the hands just a nice little wiggle. And then with the left hand, start massaging between the thumb and the finger. And then just between all the fingers, nice. Then coming down onto the palms, coming down into the wrists. Then taking it to the other side, massaging between the thumb and the index finger. Then in between the middle finger, the forefinger, slowly coming down into the wrists, and just noticing your all 10 fingers of them. Let's make our way to all 4 positions. Really noticing the hands and how active we're just in them, and planting them down into the ground. Carver, go away. You're a good boy. Just planting down, rooting down, making sure the wrists are under the shoulders, and the knees are underneath the hips. Rocking the hips slowly from side to side. Maybe bumping the left hip over to the left side, looking over your right shoulder. Come back to center. Bump the right hip out, look over your left shoulder. Back to center. Take it to the other side, left hip out, look over the right shoulder. Just like a little snake on a sunny path, taking its time. Maybe I shouldn't have said that if my sister watches this. She hates snakes. On an inhale, lift the right foot up, toes pointed down, foot really flexed. Take a peek underneath you. If you can't see your toes, then bring it closer to the ground. We want the hips square to the mat. Now set it down. Reset a little bit. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, lift up the left foot, toes pointed down, nice and flexed. Take a peek, see where your hips are, your toes are. Set that knee down, bring it to the other side, lift up that right leg, really flex through that heel. And set it down. Last leg, last side, give it all you got. And set it down. Inhale here, pull the chest through, cow position. Exhale, cat, pushing the mat away, tucking the chin. One more round. Then slowly bringing your knees as wide as your mat, sitting back onto your heels and walking your hands to the front of your mat. Balasana, child's pose. Really reaching the fingertips forward, settling the forehead onto the mat, rocking it side to side as you massage your your eyebrow area. Then finding a moment of stillness here, breathing into the hips. If you can hear your breath, then you know you're doing a good job with your breathing. Sometimes it feels a little silly to just be breathing really loud, but it's really good practice for when poses get hard. Having a nice slow breath is super helpful. One more breath. Then on an inhale, come up to all fours. Noticing that everything is all aligned like before. Then we're going to slowly lift up the right hand and bring it just one handprint in front of where it was. So if you have both hands, they're like across from each other. Now you're going to lift up and do that on the other side. Planting down into all 10 fingers, all 10 knuckles, I had to count, and into the palms. We're going to curl the toes under and slowly lift the hips all the way up to the ceiling, dropping the head, taking the gaze between the knees. Your heels may not touch here, and that's okay. I just want you to walk your dog out, making sure your hips are nice and high. I wanted to say making sure your feet are hips width distance apart. Hips distance apart. This is hard to do a video. Maybe rocking side to side. Maybe walking the dog. Did Carter hear me? And then coming down to all fours, planting the tops of the feet into the ground. And taking a second here. Curl the toes under, push back to downward facing dog. Walk the dog a few more times by paddling the feet. And then come up onto both toes. Tippy-toeing really high here. Inhaling, exhaling, tiptoe your feet to meet your hands. Take as many steps, take as long as you need. Bend the knees slightly and drop the head as you come into a forward fold. Now your hands may not touch here. If they don't touch here, you can bring them to your shins or perhaps a block. But with bending the knees, they hopefully should be a little bit closer to the ground. Dropping the head here and taking a breath. Keeping the knees planted, bring the hands to the top of the shins. Inhale, lift up halfway to make a nice flat back like you did in your all fours position. And exhale, release, fold forward. Let's do that again. Placing the hands on the shins. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold forward. Bringing the toes to touching, we're going to come up for chair. Having the legs act as one leg, slowly sit back into your heels as you bring your arms above your head. Draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, forward fold. Hands on the shins, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Toes touching, maybe knees touching. Inhale, come up for chair. Bring the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Walk the feet to the back of the mat, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, inhale here. Exhale, bring the right foot through the hands, bringing the back knee onto the ground. Come up for a low lunge. Staying here for a moment. Feeling the hips begin to open up. Sliding your hips over your heel, we're going to come into a modified pyramid, folding over the front leg. Keeping that foot nice and flexed. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Drop the head. Planting that front foot down, slowly walk the hands forward, back to that low lunge. Bringing both hands to the inside of the legs and then to the outside of the left mat. Coming off the mat, finding a nice little stretch. Breathing, noticing sensations, and then exhaling them out. Walk the hands back to center. Stay here for a lizard, or bring your toes in line with the corner of your right mat and come down onto your forearms. Maybe this is too much for you. Drop the head either way, wherever you're at. One more breath. Come back up onto the hands. Bring your hand onto either side of the foot. Inhale. Exhale, pop up onto that back foot. Bring the foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Kick that right foot to the back of the mat, setting down the knee, finding the hip stretch on this side. Feeling the hips open up. Hands on either side of the foot. Slowly gliding the butt back to the back of the room. Come up all the way and inhale, fold forward. Flexing that front foot. Setting the front foot down into the ground. Coming back into that nice low lunge position. Then walking the hands to inside of the legs and then over off onto the right side of the mat. Back foot should be planted. Walk the hands back to center and stay here or pivot your foot to the corner of your mat and come down onto the forearms for a lizard, dropping the head. Come back up onto the hands. Pop up on that back foot. Inhale. Exhale, kick that leg back. Downward dog. Walk the dog here. Nice work. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees. Step that right foot forward. Pivot the back foot. Warrior one. Finding a nice bend in that front leg. Planting down all four corners of the feet. Inhale, fullest expression. Exhale, plant the hands on either side of the foot. Pivot up onto your toes. Step that back foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, hands down onto the ground. Step that right foot back. Pivot it so you're on the inside of it. Pop your hands up, warrior one. Noticing that your knee is drawing to the outside of your baby toe. Inhale, fullest expression. Exhale, plant the hands, kick that foot back, downward dog. Staying here for a moment. Inhale the right foot up, toes pointed down. Slowly bring the heel to the bum, stack the hips. Look underneath your right side. Slowly bring that leg up, three-legged dog. Then bring it all the way through to the front of your mat between your hands. And come up for warrior two, cartwheeling the hands open. Noticing how the foot is different on this stance than warrior one. Maybe it's pointed a little bit more towards the front of the room. But finding your stance here, looking over the front fingers. Inhale. Exhale, bring the forearm to the right thigh. Bringing the left arm up, stacking the shoulders for extended side angle. Bring both hands down to the mat. Come up onto that back toe, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend both knees. Then bring the left leg through the middle hands. Pivot that back foot, warrior one. Open up to warrior two. Moving that back foot however you need so that it's nice and stable on the ground. Looking over that front hand. Inhale. Exhale, drop the forearm to the thigh. Extended side angle. Trying to keep your ear away from your shoulder and your ribs nice and strong. Exhale, bring the hands down to the ground. Kick that left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, step the feet forward. Forward fold. Bring the toes to touching. Inhale, come up for chair. Bring the hands out in front of you. Sweep the right hand to the back of the room, following it with your gaze. Bring it back to center. Bring the left arm to the back of the room, keeping your hips squared to the front of the mat. Come back to center, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, downward dog. Come down onto your knees and slowly lower all the way down, starting with the hips, the belly button, the chest, then the chin. Planting the hands next to the ribs, drawing the shoulder blades together, the elbows together. Inhale, lift up, keeping a bend in the arms, cobra. Exhale, slowly lower down, belly button, ribs, chest, chin. Inhale. Exhale, peel up. One more time. Exhale, release. Push back to down to all fours and child's pose. Breathing and not letting anything get to you. Just letting everything else melt away besides your breath and your body on this mat. Coming up to all fours. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, forward fold. Rise all the way up, extended mountain. And we're going to come into just a few balance poses. So putting all the weight into your left foot, slowly come up for tree. Bringing the leg to the calf, squaring the hips, the hip points right here, off to the center of the room, to the front edge of your mat. Bringing the hands to the hips. If it's in your practice, slowly sliding the leg up onto the calf, or maybe even onto the thigh, just never on the knee. Taking a moment here to find some equanimity as your foot pushes into your leg and your leg pushes into your foot. Exhale, release it out, shake it out, and let's bring it to the other side, planting that right foot down, slowly lifting up the leg, noticing where the hip points are, and are they towards the front edge of your mat? Bringing the hands to the hips and maybe slowly sliding that foot up, maybe taking it to your thigh. I'm having problems with words today. All this quarantine, and I feel like I'm not getting my usual amount of talking in. Bringing the hands to heart center and lifting them up. However your tree needs to be today, let it be. Exhale, release out, shake it out. Let's take it to eagle pose, lifting both the arms up, then slowly swooping the right arm under the left arm, bringing the elbows in line with the shoulders, and bringing the right leg over the left leg. Your foot may be on the ground as a kickstand, that's okay. Maybe it's just next to your calf. You just want it nice and active, nice and flexed. Maybe it wraps around your calf. Breathing here. Using your drishti, your gaze, to find something to look at in your house. Maybe something you didn't notice, but just staring at one thing and drilling a hole through it with your laser beam eyes. Slowly bringing the knees to the elbows to the knees, and unwind to airplane, kicking that back foot, toes pointed down, bringing the arms, palms face down alongside your hips. Really lifting up through the shoulders and release. Shake it out. We'll bring it to the other side, bringing both arms up, eagle on the left. Left arm under, left leg over. If you fall out, that's okay. It's all part of your progress. Bringing the elbows to the knees and slowly unwinding for airplane. Like somebody's pulling your hands up, pulling your shoulders up like you're getting ready to fly. Pointing that back foot and releasing out. Shake it out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands on the shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands on the shins. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Make sure you're at the front edge of your mat. Have your toes touching. Inhale, come up for the last chair of the day. And slowly sink your hips down deeper, please. And more. And more. And more, slowly sitting all the way down, then rolling onto your back. Nice long rolls. Nice long rolls. Slowly coming down to Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Bringing a hand to the heart and to the belly. Feeling a nice gentle open on the hips. Those low and high lunges we were doing. Then bringing the knees together. Draw the hands underneath the knees as you slowly pull them up to tabletop. And then slowly connect your hands behind your neck, nice and gentle, lifting the neck and the shoulder off the ground. And we'll do some sit-ups here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring the toes over your nose by extending your legs for legs up the wall. Bringing the hands alongside the hips. Palms face down. And point your toes. Flex them. Point them. Flex them. Point them. Flex them. Make sure your heels are as over your hips as possible while also keeping your lower back on the ground. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. Point. Flex. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock side by side, and then take happy baby, grabbing the outsides of the feet and rocking from side to side. Feeling joyous and full of endorphins. We're almost done with today's practice, bringing the knees back together, slowly rocking back and forth on your mat. One more time. And then coming all the way down onto the mat, reaching all the way through your fingertips and your toes, gently lifting them off the ground, just slightly so you still feel the carpet and mat beneath you, but really extending out, taking all the space possible, and release. Bring the right knee into the right chest, hug it in, and slowly drop it over to the left side, keeping the shoulder blades planted on the ground, and using your left hand as assistance on your knee. Left leg should be nice and extended. And bring it back to center, hug it in, extend it out. Hug the left knee in nice and tight. Flex that foot. Slowly drop it over to the right side, guiding it with your hand. Bringing your arm out nice and long, shoulder blades planted. Maybe your gaze goes over your extended arm. Maybe it's just up at the ceiling, whatever feels comfortable for you. Coming back to center, using the core, hug that leg in. And bring the other knee in to meet it. Slowly rock up to easy seated. We're going to set up for some quick hips. Taking full pigeon by planting the left leg onto the ground and the right leg like a log just right over it. The right ankle should be on the left knee. The left ankle should ideally be under the right knee. Come up onto both your hands and set your butt down so you're on both sit bones. Inhale the hands up. Exhale, fold forward, dropping the head and breathing into any areas of sensation. Thirty more seconds. Slowly bringing the body up, switch legs. Bringing the right leg on the bottom, left leg over. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing, folding over. Coming down onto the ground or just above it. Maybe a blocks underneath your head. Maybe a pillow, a couch cushion. Knowing that we're going to stay here for about a minute. Slowly coming all the way up, planting both feet onto the ground, taking them back and forth. Then coming to a nice, easy seated position. Bringing the hands to the knees and gently closing the eyes here. Taking in all the hard work that you did today. And just this 30 minutes to get you balanced and feeling more like yourself. Remembering that if you dwell on the negative things, then your headspace is just going to be not so pleasant. So instead, focus on the positive things and the things that you can be grateful for. And everything might be a little bit more sunny. Using the breath as a tool for whenever you get upset or angry or filled with anxiety. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. One more time, inhale, exhale it all out. One more, inhale, exhale it all out. Bring the hands to heart center, and then up to the forehead. The light in me honors and salutes the light and all of you guys. I miss you all and wish you all the best. Namaste.